Welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on Hot Topics TV. We're following this YNW Melly trial and retrial very closely. So if you are interested in the details, in the intricate details, or just our thoughts and opinions on this channel, then it's a good thing to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you're notified every time we put up a new video and a new update. Anyways, let's get right into today what we have about the YNW Melly new trial coming up. So the date's been set for the YNW Melly's new trial, right? It's October 9th, and that date, from now on until that date, what will be happening behind the scenes is they will be picking their jurors so they can do this thing all over again with 12 brand new people, 12 people who hopefully know nothing about this case or knows very little about this case and have not already made up their mind. I'm sure the last thing the prosecution needs again is another mistrial. They're looking for a conviction. But if you have somebody in there who's problematic, like that one person they had before, that one juror who made up their mind from the beginning that I don't care what you show me as evidence, unless I see him doing it, I'm not finding him guilty. I hope they don't have one of those again, right? So what it's looking like right now is that YNW Melly's team has gone through some changes. Yep, they've gone through some changes, and one of the lawyers that was with him in that trial that got a mistrial is no longer with his team anymore. If I was to guess who it was before anybody said who it was, I would have been sure that it was David Howard, which was the black man, black guy lawyer, right? The one who led the way for most of that trial. And he was eloquent and he was powerful and he knows the law. And he had that judge change things in his favor for most of that trial. If y'all remember correctly, most of the trial was in favor of YNW Melly's team. They were looking really good. They had a lot of people saying, damn, it looks like he's going to beat this. It looks like he's coming home. His lawyer is not playing. The little bald-headed white guy, he didn't jump in until towards the end, if you remember, right? So David Howard was the one that actually led the way. I think he did a splendid job. I think he did a really, really good job. Now, I must tell you that I, for one, do believe that Melly is guilty, according to all the stuff that was brought forth by the prosecution. But we're not talking about my opinion right now. Right now, we're talking about who was replaced and what he did or what he brought to the team before. If YNW Melly is hoping to get off this one, if his team is hoping to win this case, I hope the person that they have to replace David Howard is somebody that is of that high caliber like David Howard is. James Benjamin is the name of the new lead attorney who was brought in. Now, from what I've been told and from what I went and looked up, James Benjamin has been practicing law for quite some time. I'm talking about 40 years, 35 years, something like that. So and this is like his specialty, his field. He has won many cases. So maybe he brings a different level of expertise than David Howard did to the team. James Benjamin is the new attorney, go-to guy. YNW Melly's other two attorneys, the one who did the closing argument for the last trial and the female attorney who sat on his side throughout the whole trial, those two will be returning. But David Howard, the tall black guy, he will not be there anymore. Now, I have a theory why he won't be there anymore. And this is just my opinion. I don't want anybody to take it as anything else. Just listen to what I'm saying. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, so maybe somebody said, listen, let's get all white lawyers. Hey, I've been down this road before. I've heard people say this before. Hey, when you get in trouble, make sure you get a Jewish lawyer. You get a Jewish lawyer, you're more than likely to get off because they have links within the system. That's just something that's normally said. Then I've heard people also say, because they're black, make sure you get some white lawyers, because if you go in there, you're black, your lawyer is black, they just look at you like black people. Black people showed up, black people get tossed away. You better put some white people on your team. Maybe somebody is saying, let's get all white lawyers. But on the flip side, I don't think that's what it really is. I think it could be, but I don't think that's what it really is. Here's what I think really happened. This is just my thoughts. I think that David Howard, the black dude, the black attorney for Melly, I think he probably decided behind the scenes to step away from this. And the reason why he decided to step away from this is I don't think he was down with what happened in that closing argument. I don't care what nobody says. If that friend of Melly's had that information from years ago, 2019, when Melly was arrested, where he could have stepped up and said, I don't know why y'all arresting him, because he got out of that vehicle that night and he got in a red vehicle with us and we left. So why are y'all arresting him? He wasn't there. Bortland and whoever else did that. Melly would have been free all this time. So how come 5 years almost later at trial, you show up to say he got out of the vehicle? It seemed very desperate. It seemed like it was coerced and it was put together, and you probably had an attorney somewhere saying this is what you need to say to either cause a mistrial or to basically you got to save your friend, man. And this is the only thing that can save him, because the prosecution, although they don't have a smoking gun, they have enough evidence here to put your friend away. He is the money maker. He is the star. He gets rich. All you guys around him gets rich. He goes to prison. Nobody gets rich. So they have an incentive to want to lie to save him. You would owe me forever if I had to come into court and lie for you, and my lie actually ended up saving you from a double homicide, from life in prison, from the death penalty. You go off and make $16 million. You better pay me up about $8 million of that, because I'm going to keep my mouth shut for the rest of my life. But my silence is going to cost you some money. You see me? You see what I'm saying? So that for me is motive to lie. But I think that David Howard looked at it when it happened and he said, I'm not down to do any and everything and risk everything for this client to walk. We will go into court. We will fight a good fight. We will use the law as we've been taught to do as attorneys. But I'm not going in there to just watch y'all come up with some perjury stuff. At the end of the day, I can lose my law license and my reputation for this. Imagine never being able to practice law again when this is your bread and butter, this is your livelihood. And because you hell bent on winning one case, you lose everything you've ever worked for, including your reputation. You get disbarred. If they find out later on that a story was concocted, that YNW Melly's friend who testified last and said he got out of that vehicle down the street and the lawyer said he got out to take a pee and then he just jumped in the red vehicle, if they find out later on through some investigation that that was a lie, which, by the way, the GPS tracking shows that that was a lie, because the GPS tracking shows that that vehicle did not stop. That vehicle did not stop until it got to the place where they staged the shootings, where they got out of the car, shot up the outside of the vehicle on the side, passenger side, and shot out the back glass. This is where the GPS tracked them to. The GPS, and if it was that accurate, where it actually shows that that's where they stopped first, and the next stop after that was the hospital, then it would have also picked up when he stopped and got out the vehicle to take a piss. I think that the prosecution already knows this, and they might get hit very hard for this. So this man, David Howard, is saying, you know what? I see that y'all are willing to risk it all, and I'm not. And they probably said to him, well, you a team player or not? Because the goal is to sink or swim with the team. The goal is to win by any means necessary. And he said, I'm out. Throw my deuces up. Cut me my check for what I did already. I don't want to go any further with you guys. I won't say anything. Lawyer-client privilege. I won't be speaking to the public about this. But y'all could just go ahead and do your thing and leave me out of this. It is too risky. This is what I think happened. Why James Benjamin is now the new lead attorney instead of David Howard. James Benjamin is too easy. It doesn't benefit us for me to go read you his whole resume. You can go Google him, look him up, just as how you can go Google David Howard and look him up, or any of YNW Melly's attorneys and look them up and read about their history and read about where they went to school, what degrees they have, what big cases they have, who they've represented before in the courts, how many cases they've won, all that other stuff. James Benjamin is seasoned to this. But I don't think this is going to help YNW Melly to walk, because the prosecution has already made their case. Listen, I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know, if the topic is hot, we're on it. Just leave in that comment section and tell me, do you think that David Howard stepped away because of what I just said? Or was it just a decision to get a new attorney? I'm out. Peace.